Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Kilmore Catholic Cemetery, or otherwise known as the Kilmore Public Cemetery. We're in Kilmore, about 70 kilometres out of Melbourne. As you can see, is a rather cloudy and cold summer's day in Melbourne. Haven't been able to get out and do some videos for a while because of some family commitments and cold wet weather, but hopefully now we'll be able to get out and show you around some of the cemeteries of Victoria. So come along and let's have a look and see who we can find. As you can see in the background there are a lot of old graves there. Kilmore is a very old area. The first recorded burial here at Kilmore was that of a 6-month-old child. And there is a marker somewhere within the cemetery. I don't know whether we'll find it or not, but I believe it's not in the correct place. So the actual burial site of this child is unknown. Here we have John Ryan, native of County Tipperary Island, passed away for 11th of December 1876. And Catherine Ryan, his wife, passed away in 1899, aged 52. And their eldest son, Patrick Ambrose, who passed away in 1928. As you can see, for a country cemetery, it's fairly large. Cross over this side, it's a lot of new graves as well. I believe it is still an active cemetery. You still can be buried here. I hope shortly to bring you a video on the various symbols within a cemetery. Explain to you what it is you see on those symbols and what they mean, such as the wreath of flowers up on the cross there. Erected by Thomas Connors in memory of his blood wife Johanna Connors, 1886, aged 32 years, and their children John, Mary Thomas and John Thomas. Well, that all 5 months, 9 months, 4 months, 2 months. Unfortunately, very common in that time for children to pass, in fact adults to pass so young. Looking over towards this side of the cemetery, as you can see, there is still a lot of space available. I don't believe it's all unmarked graves. I believe it is ready for interments. Matthew Kelly, who died at Geelong in 1895, aged 69 years, and his wife Mary, 1896. must say, it's very early in the morning here. It's only about 7:30 a.m. and as I said, it's a very gloomy summer's day, and I must say it's bloody cold. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it certainly doesn't feel like summer. It's a very tall monument, this one. Let's see who it's for. Thomas Joseph Rush, erected in memory of his loving wife Bridget Francis, who died in 1891, and their son Ormond Thomas Murray Rush, 1893, aged 2 years and 3 months. Quite a beautiful headstone, this one. I could be wrong, but I don't believe this would be the original headstone. It may be, it's a little bit hard to tell with this one. But it was erected by Margaret in memory of her beloved husband Nicholas Sorochin. Died at Kilmore in 1890, aged 108 years. That's the second oldest person to be buried in a grave that I have found. The other one being at White Hill Cemetery in Bendigo, where we found a lady buried there who was 114. But old Nicholas there is the second oldest that we found. We'll head over here to the corner and just see who's over here. Now, this is one of the graves I was looking for. This is the grave of Matthew Noonan. He was a native of County Limerick in Ireland, who died on the 4th of February 1900. And Matthew Noonan is the great grandfather of my nephew Tom. So Tom, if you're watching, and is also the great grandfather of, sorry, maybe the great grandfather, I'm a little bit confused now, of my wife. And over here we have another one of the Noonans. This is also Matthew and John Noonan, in memory of their beloved father John Noonan, passed away 1872. This one is my wife's great grandfather. The other one was a great grandfather, and the great grandmother as well, also from Limerick in Ireland. you can see as you look around how much the headstones have changed over the years. If we take something like this one and some of the older ones I've shown you so far, as opposed to something like this. There's a more modern one with the brass plaque. Passed away in 2020 was James Kenneth Griffiths. And I'd say he may have been a carpenter. A little bit hard to read this one. This is a name that is very well known in the Wallen, Kilmore, Seymour areas, and that is Laffin. It's been around forever and a day. This is Mary Veronica Laffin, born in Queensland, passed away in Melbourne. And Owen Patrick Laffin, born in Wallen, passed away in East Melbourne. And they've just got a grave that has just caught my eye, sitting all by itself, right over in the corner. So we'll have a wander over and have a look at that one. It has a lot of writing on it. Here we go. Bannister, to the memory of Richard Bannister, 1802 to 1877. Jane Bannister née Cameron, 1797 to 1874. Transportees to the colony on the Baring, 1820, and Louisa, 1826. Married at the Cathedral Church of St James, Melbourne in 1854. Settled at Willowmaven and led a productive life, directed by grateful descendants. Coming up to this very large one here. I'm going to have a guess. I guess that it may be nuns, or perhaps priests. I'm not sure that we're going to know. It doesn't appear to be any names on it. No, there's nothing on it to tell you who's underneath. Nope. Okay, we'll continue on. It's starting to spit down rain. Might as well top off a nice summer's day with the rain to go with the cold and the wet and wind and the like. go, we're talking about priests and the like. Here are the Marist brothers. And one very long grave for more Marist brothers. We have a look on these ones. A lot of them have unusual names. Isidore, Silas, Anastasius, Emilian, Remigius, Barnabas, all very unusual names. And here we go. There's some nuns. This very long, large one again. This is something nuns did quite often too, is they took male names. Sister Mary Kevin O'Connor. Given that this is a Catholic cemetery, a lot of the early Irish immigrants are buried here. You see a lot of them come from Limerick or Cork or somewhere like that in Ireland. This is very sad. Memory of dearly beloved children, Martin, passed away 1878, aged 2 days. Michael James, aged 7 years, 7 months. Martin, aged 3 years and 2 months. I always like these graves that include a really nice photo of the person that's passed away. Very Irish, this one. Something we see very often in the cemeteries, headstones, where it says he was accidentally killed. And it wouldn't be cemetery tour without seeing some of the servicemen who were buried here. Lieutenant B.E. Gibney, 9th Light Horse Regiment, passed away in 1948, age 62. And we'll finish the video off so I can get back in the car and tour out with some of the priests that are buried here. The cemetery. There's Father Grant James O'Neill. The Reverend Timothy U. O'Sullivan, passed away in 1928. The Reverend Michael Farrelly, passed in 1906, parish priest of Kilmore. Okay, that's about it for now. Thank you once again for joining me. I always appreciate it. Please, if you like the videos, like and subscribe. Love seeing you come along for the ride with me. And I hope in the near future to introduce a new concept to the videos. I'm hoping to get myself a drone so I can take that with me and show you some aerial shots of the cemeteries that we tour before we actually walk around and have a look. So stay tuned for that. Okay everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.